Yo, what's good? It's Skano from the gutter. So a Texas resident, Dr. Michael Tanner, has been hit with a lawsuit by the Attorney General. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit after Dr. Tanner made plans to start an all-melanated community in Loving County. He wanted to rename it Tanner County. So his only requirement was that residents vote for his preferred candidates. He also had plans to run for president in 28. So, like I said, the Attorney General, Texas Attorney General, filed a lawsuit, and a court has ordered that, it's unlawful. Basically saying that hit him with a restraining order. Said it's illegal and deceptive political scheme. And he had planned to take advantage of people with false promises of free homes and payouts. So they have blocked that. So I don't know if it's tied up in litigation at this point, if that's a done deal or what, but all melanated. But, I don't believe there was any court order against this all-white community in Ozark, Arkansas, which I believe folded up, by the way. They folded up the tents and they disbanded. I'm saying the residents of this all-white, community. But unlawful. I think it comes down really to, I know the more obvious, they don't want us to have any type of control, at all. But I think it's more so to do with that particular plot of land. From what I understand, though, there were a couple dozen melanated, individuals who had moved into a couple plots of land that he had set aside there, and some, shelters and RVs. But like I said, the court has ordered that it's unlawful. So I think it's more to do with that particular, stretch of area, and I think the powers that be have other plans. But you know what I really think? They just want us to stay in the ghetto, I mean, what's the problem? You could build all white community. I mean, pretty much y'all got all, as far as well-to-do, white Americans live in the most plush suburbs, most affluent communities, and they don't want black folks and others, especially black folks, taking up residence in these particular areas. I've seen, more than a couple stories where, well-to-do black folks have moved into these affluent white communities, and they're treated like, criminals in their own community. They getting the police called on them for fishing in the local pond or lake or reservoir or whatever, constantly pulled over, So y'all don't want us around y'all, but y'all don't want us to have our own either, unless it's in the ghetto. No, they don't give a damn if we stay in the ghettos, in the hoods, in the trenches, out of sight, out of mind, except when they turn on the TV, and read about inner city crime. But, no, they don't want us to have shit. That's what happened with, Black Wall Street in 1910, early 1900s, and Rosewood, another community in Carolina, all black, they burned it down. They found a reason to burn it down, come through, loot and plunder, murder. They just can't stand for us to build our own. So when I hear other races, primarily white folks, but other races too, talking about, well, why can't black folks build their own? This is why. Even when we do, when we have, like I said, there's many cases. We used to have our own communities, and not just back in the early 19, in the 60s and 70s. But like I said, man, Reagan destroyed all that when the CIA funneled all the drugs, the cocaine, the heroin into the inner cities, our communities, turn them upside down, turn them into war zones, and then turn around and say, look at those blacks, So, and somebody said, everything is about race to me. It's really not. It's all about race to white America, apparently. That part of white America. So, to the white viewers, and I have a couple, y'all know I'm not talking about all y'all, but be honest, a lot of y'all people just hate to see black folks prosper and build our own. That's a threat. That's a threat to white American superiority, and control. But like I said, they don't give a damn if we stay in the ghettos, in the projects. You know what I'm saying? You won't hear them complaining about that. Well, except when they are pointing out our criminality, But I like to put y'all, there's a lot of white pookies around the trenches too. I might add that. You know what I'm saying? So, these social economic issues, they ain't just a black thing. It's a poor thing. It's a disenfranchised thing. A suppressed thing. And that's what they want to continue to do. What's the problem? Like I said, man, y'all don't want to live around us. And at the same time, you don't want us to build our own shit. Immigrants come over here, you name them. Asian, Latinos. Like I said, in Charlotte, the Mexicans, not hating on them, but at the same time, yeah, I feel the way. Because I'm looking at the community I lived in Charlotte, which, like I said, predominantly Latino. And they got their own, the same thing we used to have, And I'm pretty sure it's government funded. They ain't getting blocked and suppressed and stepped on, They getting supplemented. They own grocery stores, everything, man. I'm saying it was all Latino around there. And I felt away. Not out of jealousy, but just like, what is this? Why in the hell can't we, And it always come back to them same talking points. We're dysfunctional. We have no vision, no ambition, woo woo. This is why. So whether or not this was some political scheme, which okay, look at our government. Look at the American government, full of crooks and criminals. Trump being the biggest criminal. You know what I'm saying? While they making Argentina great again, funneling billions to Argentina, because his cronies, if you know, his cronies are tied in with Argentina. That's why they buying up shit over there and supplementing Argentina. I think when he get ran out of office, he gon', you know what I'm saying? He gonna evade to Argentina. But it's crazy to me, man. You know what I'm saying? But what else would I expect? There's some people saying that he should have kept this on the low, and can't win for losing in this country, it seemed like, when we try to build shit. Now, they don't mind a few individuals here and there gaining some wealth, as far as, artists, entertainers, ball players, but when we try to pull together, our resources to build our own, all of a sudden, it's criminal. But never, like I said, not to speak of these all white, you know what I'm saying? So when people come up here and say, I'm hyper focused on race, can you blame me? But like I said, man, it is what it is, America KKK. No ops left Skano. You already know.